George Foreman made about $200 million boxing across 2 decades of getting punched in the face by the best heavyweights alive. Then he put his name on a kitchen grill and made over $200 million in a single payout just for endorsing it. One product. More money than his entire fighting career combined. And he's not even close to the most extreme case on this list. By the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how 10 of the biggest names in sports quietly built fortunes that make their championship rings look like a rounding error. Some of these guys you'd expect. A couple are going to genuinely surprise you. So let's start with the man who basically wrote the blueprint for turning fame into a real business. Shaquille O'Neal Shaq earned roughly $292 million in NBA salary over 19 seasons, which sounds massive until you realize his net worth today sits north of $400 million, and almost none of that extra money came from basketball. He didn't just slap his face on products, he bought pieces of the companies. Shaq owns stakes in nearly 155 Guys locations. He's a part owner of dozens of car washes, a Krispy Kreme franchise, and he was an early investor in Google before most people even knew how to spell it. His logic was simple. He told interviewers he'd rather own 25 Guys restaurants than sign one more shoe deal. That mindset alone put his post-career wealth ahead of what basketball ever paid him. George Foreman, we already told you the headline number, but here's the part that makes it insane. Foreman was nearly broke in the early 90s. He came out of retirement at 45 years old, got knocked around, and needed the money. Then in 1994, a company called Sultan offered him a cut of every George Foreman Grill sold instead of a flat fee. He almost said no. That deal ended up paying him somewhere between $138 and $200 million, and some estimates push the total lifetime figure even higher once you count grill sales worldwide. A boxer who fought Muhammad Ali made more from non-stick coating than he ever did from championship belts. Magic Johnson Magic retired from the Lakers with career earnings around $40 million, which was serious money in the 80s and 90s, but nothing compared to what came next. He turned his attention to communities that big corporations usually ignored. He built Magic Johnson theaters in urban neighborhoods, partnered with Starbucks to open over 100 locations, and eventually sold his stake in that Starbucks partnership for $75 million alone. Then, he bought into the Los Angeles Dodgers as part of a group that purchased the team for over $2 billion. His net worth today is estimated around $620 million. Basketball built his name. Real estate and franchising built his fortune. Serena Williams earned about $95 million in prize money across her tennis career, which is the most any female athlete has ever made from competition alone. But her net worth is estimated at over $300 million. And the engine behind that isn't endorsements, it's her venture capital firm, Serena Ventures. She's invested in over 200 companies, and more than half of the founders she's backed are women or people of color, groups that historically get almost nothing from traditional venture capital. One of her early investments was in a company called Masterclass. Another was in a meal kit brand that got acquired for hundreds of millions. She didn't just play a sport people watched, she quietly built a portfolio that outgrew the prize money entirely. Kevin Durant, here's the one that surprises people, because Durant is still playing and already dwarfing his own contracts. He's earned around $400 million in NBA salary, an enormous number on its own. But in 2016, he and his business partner Rich Kleiman started a company called 35 Ventures, and it's now valued in the hundreds of millions by itself. They got early equity stakes in Postmates, Acorns, and Coinbase before those companies exploded. When Coinbase went public, Durant's early stake reportedly turned into a windfall worth tens of millions on paper in a single day. He didn't wait until retirement to build a business. He built it while he was still dropping 30 points a night, which honestly should be the model every young athlete studies. Tiger Woods made about $120 million in official PGA Tour prize money over his career, a record that still stands, but his net worth is estimated at over $800 million, and the gap comes almost entirely from one place: Nike, over roughly 25 years. Nike paid Woods somewhere in the range of $500 million just to wear the swoosh, before you even count his golf course design business, his restaurant chain, or his tailor-made equipment deals. Think about that ratio. His golf swing earned him $120 million. His silhouette earned him hundreds of millions more, just standing still in a red shirt on Sunday. David Beckham's playing salary across his career, from Manchester United to Real Madrid to the LA Galaxy, adds up to somewhere around $200 million. His net worth today, largely built through his brand and business ventures, is estimated at over $450 million, with some reports pushing it toward the billion mark when you count his ownership stake in Inter Miami. Here's the detail that made him a genius, not just a celebrity. When Beckham signed with the LA Galaxy in 2007, he negotiated an option to buy an MLS expansion team later for a fixed, discounted price. Nobody thought much of it at the time. Years later, he exercised that option and co-founded Inter Miami, a franchise now valued at hundreds of millions of dollars. He basically wrote his own future payout into a soccer contract, which is one of the smartest pieces of deal-making in modern sports history. Roger Federer made about $130 million in career prize money, the most of any male tennis player when he retired. But his net worth sits around $1 billion, and the single biggest reason is a sneaker company most people had barely heard of a decade ago. In 2018, Federer signed a 10-year, $300 million deal with Uniqlo instead of renewing with Nike. Then he took an equity stake in a Swiss shoe brand called On, and when that company went public in 2021, Federer's stake was reportedly worth over $300 million on paper almost overnight. A tennis racket earned him $130 million across 2 decades. One sneaker investment nearly matched that in a single stock market debut. LeBron's NBA salary alone has crossed $500 million, making him the first player in league history to hit that number just from playing. But his total net worth is estimated at over $1 billion, and he became a billionaire years before he actually retired. The engine wasn't just Nike, though that deal alone is worth over $1 billion across his lifetime. It was his production company, Spring Hill, which he co-founded, and which was valued at over $700 million after a round of outside investment. He also took a small ownership stake in Liverpool Football Club back in 2011 for around $6.5 million, a stake reportedly worth well over $30 million today. LeBron didn't just get paid to play basketball. He used basketball as the launchpad to become an owner in businesses that had nothing to do with basketball at all. Michael Jordan, and that brings us to the man who made all of this look possible in the first place. Jordan's career NBA salary across 15 seasons totals around $94 million. Respectable, but by today's standards, almost modest. His net worth right now is estimated at $3.5 billion. Almost none of that gap comes from basketball. It comes from one decision made in 1984, when a young Jordan, against Nike's own expectations, signed a shoe deal that included royalties on every pair sold under his name instead of Nike's name. Air Jordan now generates well over $6 billion in annual retail sales for Nike, and Jordan's cut of that is estimated at hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. Decades after his last game. Add in his majority ownership of the Charlotte Hornets, which he sold in 2023 for a reported $3 billion, and you get an athlete whose actual sport now accounts for a tiny fraction of his fortune. So here's the pattern running through every name on this list. The championships got these guys famous. The business decisions made them rich. Foreman's Grill, Federer's sneaker stake, Jordan's royalty clause, Beckham's discounted expansion option, none of that happened on a field, a court, or a ring. It happened in a meeting room, usually years before anyone clapped for it. So here's a question worth sitting with. If you had the platform these athletes had at 25 years old, would you have taken the safe, bigger paycheck up front? Or the smaller deal with a piece of the company attached? Drop your answer in the comments, because I promise you it's not as obvious a choice as it sounds.